Rudy Giuliani tries to cause a scandal over Hunter Biden's affairs in Ukraine. Rudy Giuliani ensures, 2 weeks before the election, that Joe Biden's son has benefited from his father's connections and is crying out for corruption. But his information seems to have a dubious origin. For a year and a half, Rudy Giuliani has been pursuing a Ukrainian track. The former New York mayor, who has become Donald Trump's personal lawyer, has been seeking compromising information for nearly 2 years about Joe Biden's son Hunter Biden, whom he is convinced has benefited from his father's connections to enrich himself, introducing the then U.S. vice president to his business contacts. Last week, the New York Post devoted its front page to the 40s, revealing that emails proving that he had introduced his father to one of his associates had been discovered on a laptop deposited in a repair shop. But the affair hardly took hold in the United States, where Joe Biden's campaign ensured that a meeting between him and Burisma Holdings had not taken place, but without saying whether the published emails were true. If the Trump camp accuses the media of having taken up the cause of Joe Biden, some journalists have instead pointed to the origin of these revelations. Rudy Giuliani provided them to the New York Daily, owner of the conservative billionaire Rupert Murdoch. Rudy Giuliani, whose Washington Post revealed last week that he had been targeted by Russian intelligence. Despite the warnings of Robert O'Brien, his Homeland Security advisor, Donald Trump did not distance himself from his personal lawyer, preferring to keep one of his most zealous defenders with him even if he could echo information provided by an outside power. For Giuliani, no Russian interference but Ukrainian intervention. Rudy Giuliani keeps hammering his theory that a foreign country tried to influence the 2016 election, but not Russia. Contrary to the claims of the American intelligence services, he is convinced that Ukraine is at the origin of a policy of destabilization of the United States. He is convinced that Joe Biden influenced American diplomacy to promote the interests of the company for which his youngest son worked. The latter was a member of the board of directors of the natural gas company of former Minister Mykola Slotschewskyj, Burisma Holdings, which has been in the sights of former Ukrainian Attorney General Wiktor Schokin. Accused of turning a blind eye to numerous cases of corruption in Ukraine, the latter was dismissed from his post by the Ukrainian Parliament in 2016 after, in particular, increased pressure from the United States, which threatened to cancel a loan from $1 billion, proof of the interference of Hunter Biden's affairs in American diplomacy, according to pro-Trump. Forgetting that the virulent criticism of the magistrate also emanated from the European Union. The former mayor of New York defended himself on Monday for having relayed potentially erroneous information. The hard drive is not disinformation nor in any case Russian. This is information on Hunter Biden. There is no denial from him or from #BidenLaTordu. It is clear that Biden's family has behaved for 30 years like henchmen to collect millions in bribes for him, he accused on Twitter. Hunter Biden, at the heart of Donald Trump's impeachment. Last year, 2 Ukrainian collaborators hired by Rudy Giuliani to help him research information on Hunter Biden were arrested and charged with violating campaign finance laws. This Ukrainian connection of the former mayor of New York was mentioned during the impeachment procedure of Donald Trump, recorded last year by the House of Representatives, where the Democrats are in the majority, before the Senate with a Republican majority did not acquitted last February, after the incriminating appeal in the summer of 2019 during which Donald Trump had suspended military aid granted to Ukraine, asking his counterpart Volodymyr Zelensky to open an investigation into Hunter Biden. The House of Representatives had unveiled documents handed over by Lev Parnas. Exchanges, whether with Rudy Giuliani or others close to Donald Trump, showed how Yuri Lutsenko, a former Ukrainian prosecutor, had offered his help in investigating Burisma and the Biden in exchange for the dismissal of Marie Yovanovitch, American ambassador to Ukraine and respected employee of the State Department for 33 years whom Rudy Giuliani had already publicly criticized. The departure of the diplomat would have allowed, according to the Democrats, the creation of a parallel diplomacy between Washington and Kiev, in which the personal lawyer of the president would have collaborated for the sole purpose of obtaining information to harm his adversary for the election of November 3.